Have you ever met someone and thought to yourself, Subhanallah, this person looks so peaceful, so fresh, so young, how? You ask their age and you're shocked. You think they must have discovered some secret cream or some magical diet. But my brothers and sisters, sometimes the real secret has nothing to do with the body, it's hidden in the heart. When the heart is at peace, it shows. You can see it in someone's smile, in the way they speak, in the calmness of their eyes. You don't need to ask what their secret is because peace cannot be hidden, it radiates naturally. A peaceful heart reflects on the face like the still surface of water reflects light. But when the heart is disturbed, full of fear, anger, or envy, that same reflection becomes cloudy. What's inside the heart always finds a way to appear outside. Many people today spend so much time trying to look young and fresh. They try new skincare routines, new diets, and countless products. Yet, despite all this effort, something still seems missing. That missing element is inner peace. You can't hide stress behind makeup, and you can't disguise unhappiness with a smile. Sooner or later, what you carry within becomes visible. Without, Allah has designed the human face as a mirror of the soul. When the heart is filled with calm and contentment, the body follows, the eyes soften, the expression relaxes, and the entire presence becomes lighter. A peaceful heart comes from trusting Allah's plan. When you stop fighting the way things are, when you accept that Allah knows best, even when you don't understand, the heart begins to settle. Anxiety and restlessness fade. The believer who has learned to say, Alhamdulillah for everything, has unlocked one of the greatest sources of beauty and youth, contentment. Such a person doesn't need to force a smile, it comes naturally because their soul is at rest. Look at those who constantly complain or worry about what they cannot control. Their faces are always tense, their energy feels heavy. Life has aged them faster than years ever could. That's the power of the mind and the heart. The more unrest you keep inside, the more it drains your strength. But when you surrender your worries to Allah, you unburden yourself, and that release shows your tone softens, your body relaxes, your entire aura changes. Inner peace doesn't mean life is perfect. It means you've made peace with imperfection. It means you know that this world is temporary and that every challenge carries wisdom. When you reach that understanding, stress loses its control over you. You stop wasting energy on what doesn't matter. You start to notice blessings again. The small ones, the quiet ones, the ones you once ignored. That gratitude fills your heart with light. And that light, my dear brothers and sisters, never stays hidden. It shines through your smile, your words, and even your silence. People often think beauty comes from effort. In truth, beauty comes from ease. When the soul is at ease, everything else aligns naturally. Think about those who pray sincerely, who forgive easily, who sleep with a clean conscience. Their faces have a softness that time cannot erase. Their eyes carry a calm glow. They look rested even when they've faced hardship. Why? Because they've learned to hand their pain over to Allah. Peace of heart is not just a feeling, it's a form of worship. It means trusting that whatever happens, happens by His will, and that His plan is always in your favor. Such trust removes fear. And when fear leaves, the heart becomes light. This inner light beautifies a person far more than any cosmetic ever could. So if you truly want to look younger, stop searching outside and start cleansing inside. Clear your heart from grudges, let go of bitterness and fill it with remembrance. Every subhanallah, every alhamdulillah, every sincere dua polishes the heart a little more. The cleaner it becomes, the brighter you'll glow. Because peace, once found in the heart, always finds its way to the face. Sincerity and kindness are among the most beautiful qualities a human being can possess. They are invisible to the eye, yet they shape how a person appears, how they are remembered, and how they touch the hearts of others. A sincere heart carries a light that no mirror can reflect and no camera can capture. It is the kind of beauty that cannot be manufactured because it comes from a place of purity, from doing things solely for the sake of Allah, not for praise, attention, or recognition. When a person's intentions are pure, it shows. Their actions carry gentleness, their speech carries warmth, and their presence carries comfort. You feel safe around them not because they are loud or charming, but because they are genuine. Sincerity creates peace within the soul. You no longer feel pressured to impress people or to maintain appearances. You live honestly, doing good for the sake of goodness itself. That kind of peace makes a person's face glow with calmness. The absence of hypocrisy removes a great weight from the heart, and that freedom reflects in the eyes, in the smile, in the way one listens and responds. Kindness, on the other hand, beautifies the soul. Like rain softens dry land. Every act of kindness, a smile, a helping hand, a forgiving word, nurtures your spirit and polishes your character. It doesn't just change how others see you, it changes how you see the world. When you begin to act kindly, you start noticing blessings where others see problems. You focus on giving instead of comparing. And that shift in mindset brings peace and joy, two things that are visible on every face that carries them. Harshness, arrogance, and pride age a person quickly. You can see it in their eyes, the bitterness, the defensiveness, the restlessness. But humility and kindness keep the soul young. There is something youthful about those who laugh easily, forgive readily, and help silently. They have lightness in their step and softness in their tone. Their beauty doesn't fade with time because it isn't dependent on appearance, it's anchored in character. A sincere person doesn't need validation from others. Their reward is with Allah. When you do something purely for His sake, even if no one notices, Allah sees. He places barakah in your actions and light in your face. The Prophet once said that when a person does deeds sincerely for Allah, their face becomes radiant with light. That light is not physical brightness, but spiritual illumination, a sense of peace and positivity that people can feel even before you speak. Kindness also has a ripple effect. When you treat someone with compassion, you soften their heart. When you forgive instead of argue, you calm the situation. That harmony created through simple acts nurtures not only others but also yourself. The heart feels lighter because it's no longer burdened with anger or ego. Over time, that emotional lightness becomes physical, fewer wrinkles of worry, fewer signs of stress, and a more serene appearance overall. In sincerity, there is no pretending. And when you stop pretending, you start living. You speak honestly, you act naturally, and you sleep peacefully. You don't have to remember lies or maintain a false image. That authenticity brings a quiet happiness, and happiness beautifies a person more than any external effort. So every time you smile sincerely at someone, every time you help quietly without expecting praise, every time you forgive when you could have held a grudge, and know that you are beautifying your soul. And the soul, when it becomes beautiful, makes everything about you beautiful. Your words, your presence, your face, all begin to reflect the purity of your intentions. That is why those who are kind and sincere seem to glow. It's not makeup, not youth, not money. It's the light of goodness shining through them. Gratitude and contentment are like medicine for the soul. Quiet, unseen, but profoundly powerful. They don't just heal the heart, they rejuvenate the entire being. A grateful person carries a lightness that no amount of luxury or beauty products can replicate. Gratitude changes the way you see life. Instead of counting what's missing, you begin to notice what's already there. And that shift alone brings peace, calmness, and a natural radiance that makes you appear younger than your age. When the heart is content, stress loses its grip. Many people age not because of years, but because of worry. They are constantly chasing more wealth, more fame, more validation, and in doing so, they exhaust their souls. Contentment, on the other hand, allows you to breathe. It reminds you that you have enough, that you are enough, and that everything meant for you will reach you in its time. This calm acceptance relaxes the body, softens the face, and slows the effects of time. A person who says Alhamdulillah sincerely after every situation radiates a kind of strength that no storm can destroy. Gratitude brings joy to ordinary days. You start finding beauty in small things. The warmth of morning sunlight, the taste of water when you're thirsty, the safety of your home, the people who care for you. You begin to smile more, and a genuine smile is the most natural form of youthfulness. It lifts not only your face but your spirit. The heart that appreciates is never old because it never stops being amazed by Allah's blessings. Discontentment, however, steals that youth. When you constantly compare your life to others, you poison your peace. Jealousy, greed, and endless desire age a person faster than time itself. You can see it in the eyes, tired from chasing, empty from want. But when you learn to be content with Allah's decree, a serenity settles in. You start sleeping better, stressing less, and living more fully. The heart at rest gives rest to the body. Allah promises in the Quran, if you are grateful, I will surely increase you. That increase is not limited to wealth. It's an increase in health, happiness, peace, and spiritual light. Gratitude attracts blessings like flowers attract bees. The more thankful you are, the more reasons Allah gives you to be thankful. And each of those blessings adds another layer of joy to your life, a joy that reflects on your face and in your presence. People who practice gratitude don't waste time regretting the past or fearing the future. They live in the moment, appreciating it fully. That mindful awareness reduces anxiety and strengthens faith. It slows the racing thoughts that make life feel heavy. As a result, they walk through life with calm confidence, not rushing, not envying, simply trusting that Allah knows best. That trust itself is rejuvenating. It protects the heart from the constant emotional storms that drain one's vitality. Contentment doesn't mean you stop striving. It means you strive with peace. You work hard, but don't worry excessively about results. You do your best and leave the rest to Allah. That balance brings emotional stability, and emotional stability brings health, youth, and longevity. Even science acknowledges that grateful people tend to live longer, laugh more, and suffer less from stress-related illness. But long before science said it, the Quran and Sunnah taught it, that a heart at peace is the most beautiful form of wellness. Gratitude turns aging into grace. You stop fearing the passing of time because you realize that every stage of life carries its own beauty. A grateful person never loses their glow. They simply trade youthful beauty for peaceful dignity. So, if you want to stay young at heart and radiant in spirit, fill your days with Alhamdulillah. Because gratitude doesn't just change your life, it changes your face, your energy, and your very presence. Forgiveness is one of the most powerful acts a human being can perform, yet it is also one of the most difficult. It requires strength to let go of pain, humility to release pride, and faith to trust that Allah will bring justice in His own way. But those who forgive carry a secret blessing. They are lighter, calmer, and more peaceful than those who hold on to grudges. This inner lightness doesn't just heal the heart, it softens the face and refreshes the soul. Forgiveness truly is the secret skincare of the soul. When you hold anger inside, it begins to shape you. It tightens your face, hardens your eyes, and stiffens your heart. Every time you replay what someone did to you, you relive the pain. That emotional weight becomes physical. Sleepless nights, constant tension, sadness that lingers. The body cannot hide what the heart carries. But when you forgive, when you finally say, I leave this to Allah, you release yourself from that burden. It's like taking a heavy stone off your chest. You breathe again, you smile again, and suddenly life feels light. That peace shows in your expressions, in your energy, and in the way people feel when they're around you. Forgiveness doesn't mean what happened was okay. It doesn't mean you forget or pretend that wrong never occurred. It simply means you value your peace more than your pain. You are choosing not to let the actions of others control your heart. You are choosing to heal. And when you make that choice sincerely for the sake of Allah, He replaces that bitterness with tranquility. The Prophet ﷺ said that those who forgive others for the sake of Allah will be raised in honor. And that honor is not only spiritual, you can see it in the person's demeanor. They walk with grace, they speak with calmness, and their presence radiates mercy. People who carry resentment often age faster emotionally and physically because the constant tension within them drains their vitality. Hatred is heavy, it demands energy to keep alive. The one who forgives, however, sleeps peacefully. They don't waste hours plotting revenge or replaying the past. They trust Allah's timing and His justice. This trust brings serenity that no worldly comfort can replace. It clears the heart, and when the heart is clear, the entire being feels renewed. There's something beautiful about a person who can smile at someone who once hurt them, not out of weakness, but out of spiritual maturity. Such people are not naive. They are wise. They know that forgiveness frees them, not the other person. They refuse to let negativity live rent-free in their heart. They let go not because they have forgotten, but because they have learned, and that wisdom gives them an unshakable peace that keeps them strong and radiant. True forgiveness also strengthens one's connection with Allah. When you forgive others, you open the door for Allah to forgive you. You begin to understand mercy on a deeper level. The more you forgive, the softer your heart becomes. And a soft heart is a heart that softness appears in your tone, your patience, your compassion, all of which make you more beautiful in the eyes of others and in the sight of your Creator. Some people spend their lives searching for ways to feel younger, happier, and more peaceful, but they overlook this simple secret. Let go. Release the bitterness, forgive those who never apologized, and move on with dignity. Every time you forgive, you polish your heart. Every act of mercy removes a layer of darkness from within. Eventually, your heart shines so brightly that it reflects through your face. That is why those who forgive easily always look calm, collected, and at peace. They've discovered the truest beauty, the beauty of a heart that carries no hate. A heart that is connected to its Creator carries a light that never fades. When you nourish your soul through prayer, remembrance, and reflection, that nourishment begins to overflow. It touches your words, your actions, even the way you appear. True beauty is not found in outward perfection, but in inner alignment. When the heart remembers Allah often, it becomes calm. And when the heart is calm, the body follows. The face softens, the voice becomes gentle, and the eyes carry warmth. Spiritual connection, therefore, is not just food for the soul. It is a source of health, balance, and youthful peace for the entire being. The soul, like the body, needs feeding. Just as the body weakens when deprived of food, the soul withers when deprived of remembrance. Many people take great care of their physical appearance but neglect their spiritual well-being. They eat the best foods, exercise regularly, and follow every health trend, yet still feel empty inside. That emptiness eventually shows in stress, in restlessness, in fatigue. But when you feed your soul with prayer and dhikr, it fills that emptiness with serenity. The believer who begins and ends the day in remembrance of Allah walks through life with a quiet strength. Their heart is anchored, their mind is clear, and their body is at ease. Spiritual connection brings harmony to every part of life. When you bow in sujud, when you whisper your worries to Allah, you are not only strengthening your faith, you are healing your heart. Science now confirms what faith has taught for centuries, that mindfulness, prayer, and gratitude reduce stress and improve physical health. But believers have always known that peace comes from knowing who is in control. When you truly rely on Allah, the constant tension of trying to control everything disappears. You no longer feel the need to chase what was never meant for you. That surrender brings relief deeper than sleep, calmer than silence, and more lasting than pleasure. Those who keep their connection with Allah are protected from despair. They may face trials, but they never lose hope. That hope keeps their spirits alive, and a lively spirit reflects through the body. Have you ever seen someone who prays with sincerity, who remembers Allah? There's a glow in their face, not the glow of cosmetics, but the glow of peace. You can sense it in their speech and presence. Their hearts are alive, and that life radiates outwardly. The Quran describes believers whose faces shine with light on the day of judgment. But that light begins here, in the dunya. When you fill your life with remembrance and gratitude, each time you recite the Quran, each time you whisper astaghfirullah, each time you turn to Allah sincerely, your soul is washed clean, your heart is refreshed, and your energy is renewed. The more you remember Him, the less you are burdened by the noise of the world. That stillness keeps you youthful, not just in face but in spirit. Spiritual nourishment also brings balance. When your heart is connected to Allah, you stop overvaluing worldly appearances. You no longer chase perfection or compare yourself to others. You begin to live with contentment, knowing that real beauty is not in flawless skin but in a heart that knows peace. That understanding protects you from envy, jealousy, and insecurity, all of which silently age the heart. Instead, your inner calm begins to heal your outer. You smile more sincerely, your words become kinder, and your body feels lighter. Every prayer, every moment of dhikr, every sincere dua adds a layer of strength and peace to your soul. And that spiritual peace flows through your body like light through glass, soft, warm, and unmissable. A person who maintains their connection with Allah carries a timeless beauty, one that doesn't fade with age because it is not made of skin and bone but of faith and remembrance. A person who lives with purpose wakes up with energy that no amount of caffeine can provide. Their motivation comes from meaning, not from mood. When you know why you are here, whom you are serving, and what your life stands for, every day becomes a blessing, not a burden. Purpose gives direction to the heart and discipline to the mind. It prevents the soul from wandering aimlessly through distractions, and that focus preserves your emotional and physical energy. A purposeful life is not necessarily free of struggle, but it is full of clarity, and that clarity keeps the spirit young. When people lose their sense of purpose, they begin to age from within. They wake up tired, not because their body is weak, but because their soul is. They fill their days with routine, chasing temporary pleasures that never satisfy them for long. The emptiness of not knowing why eats away at their peace. Without a reason to wake up every morning feels heavy. But the moment a person reconnects with their purpose, whether it's serving Allah, helping others, raising a family with love, or spreading goodness, their energy returns. They smile more easily, walk more confidently, and face hardship with patience instead of panic. That strength and positivity reflect on their face like sunlight on calm water. Purpose protects you from wasting energy on things that do not matter. It silences the noise of comparison and the exhaustion of trying to please everyone. When you have a clear mission, you stop living for the approval of others and start living for the pleasure of Allah. This shift changes everything: your priorities, your mindset, and your peace. You begin to let go of the small things that used to drain you. Arguments, jealousy, gossip, they lose their power over you. You become selective with your time and your emotions. That self-control gives you more room for peace, and peace is the foundation of youthful energy. Every prophet, every righteous person, every believer who lived with purpose carried an extraordinary calmness. They faced pain, loss, and rejection, yet their hearts remained unshaken because they knew their journey had meaning. They weren't living just to survive, they were living to fulfill a mission. When life becomes an act of worship, every effort feels sacred, and that sacredness brings joy even in hardship. It is joy, not comfort, that keeps the heart young. When you live with purpose, your focus is on giving rather than getting. Giving brings fulfillment. You stop measuring your worth by what you own and start measuring it by what you contribute. A purposeful person smiles often, not because everything is perfect, but because they feel useful. Their life matters to someone, and that sense of significance is deeply healing. It prevents emotional burnout, reduces stress, and strengthens resilience, all of which slow down the wear and tear that constant worry causes.